February 13th. February 13th, 2018. Good morning, everybody. What's going on? I'm a little bit more coherent this morning for whatever reason. No particular, just a little less foggy. I like to think that I've been keeping to a regular schedule. It's helping. Busy. Let's talk about some fun stuff before I get into the work. Just saw the Ready Player One poster today. It's very Drew Struzan inspired. Phil Shippers. And it's cool. I'd prefer this over this, where they use photos and kind of like texture over the photos to kind of give it that Struzan canvasy feel. If you haven't seen it, it's the purple one. It's kind of purple and blue. It's got like Bigfoot and Cowboy Bebop ship and Iron Giant and Gundam and I think it's Skeleton Warriors, or that's a made-up character. I don't know. And the DeLorean and stuff. So it's all right. I mean, because I'd prefer this over what they generally do in movie posters. That being said, I don't know. Some of these faces definitely look like they got photoshopped on top of stuff. I don't know. It is. I remember in 2005 when I first started doing Marvel T-shirts. I was in the art studio, and they said develop stuff. It needs to be team ups for Marvel, men's for Hot Topic, and they said, so Hot Topic likes more inside knowledge. You gotta know what you're doing with this, man. So I comped. They don't let you draw a lot of your own stuff. So I you have to take images from different comic book pages, cut them out, arrange them, and then sort of tie them together. And it's a big Photoshop job. And I had done this whole piece utilizing a bunch of different pieces, and Doctor Doom with his eyes in the background, similar to the Phantom Menace poster with Darth Maul. And it was for the Secret Wars. I thought a Secret Wars t-shirt, like Drew Struzan style, and I had the little sort of acrylic embossed texturing on there as well. And they were like, the fuck is this? This is before they had done the Civil War t-shirt. The Civil War t-shirt was that piece Steve McNiven drew that was invocative of the old Justice Society or Justice League covers. Well, they're all standing and looking up at you. I think Kevin McGeary started that in the 80s, and sort of like an homage to that. And so it's all the Marvel characters. And it was like 4 or 5 months later that came out, and Hot Topic wanted it no matter what. And so it was a bunch of colors for t-shirts, like 20 fucking colors. It was an amazing amount of colors to get that done at the time. And that layout has been utilized time and time again. It's the two highest selling shirts that year were that one, Marvel shirts were that one, and the Spider-Man one that I did. But the Secret Wars one that I'd comped together months earlier, they were just like, it's too many colors, man. What are you doing? You're trying to bankrupt us? So it was interesting though, because I was trying to get those like acrylic, like Struzan. He puts gesso onto illustration board, and then with the brush swirls around to create those little like swirls in the gesso. And at the time, I had no fucking idea what that was. He has a documentary that they'd put out a while back when he did the Hellboy 2 poster, where he details his process. So when I finally saw that, I was like, oh, that's what he was doing. Because I have no fine art training. But, yeah, it looks cool. You know, they fix his long ass fucking leg. It's probably Phil Schipper poster. I wish Marvel was doing these for every one of their posters. You know, and doing one poster that's like a comic book drawn poster, like get the comic book artist and have like Alex Ross paint the comic book art. You know, my favorite Alex Ross piece is two. One Alex Ross did by himself, and that's this Justice League one he did that features Michael Keaton and Christopher Reeve and Linda Carter. That's probably my favorite of all time, just because it's fucking amazing to look at, and it's like my childhood. But two is, okay, well, it's 2 and 3. They're tied. Is he did this paint over Jim Lee's pencils for Superman, Batman, a long while ago. And so it looked like Jim Lee's art painted by Alex Ross. It was amazing. He also did this Savage Dragon cover. I think it was for Savage Dragon issue 100. Where he painted over Eric Larson's art. So it looked like Eric Larson's art, but 3-dimensional. And I love that too. So, yeah, it'd be great to get like Alex Ross. Why doesn't Time Warner just have Alex Ross paint a poster for every fucking movie? I don't know. I don't. Because marketing departments suck. I'll tell you that. I always felt I probably should have been in a marketing department. You know, I'm kind of clever with that stuff, but I also have this thing called artistic integrity, which does not bode well for pure marketing. T-shirts, however, mass market T-shirts are somewhere in between marketing and art. You know, they're somewhere between there. Internet bootleg T-shirts, a whole nother fucking thing. Like I've talked many times about my history doing T-shirts, and you adoring fans, my bots, you're always like, you should get your own T-shirt site set up, do your own shirts, and I love you truly, but the fact of the matter is, internet T-shirts ain't the same fucking thing as T-shirts sold out in the real world. And internet T-shirt stuff is more like abstract, or taking one thing and another thing and combining them, or abstract weird trapper keeper art, or it involves a different kind of thinking, and at that point I'd rather two things. One, I'd rather not try to deal with the price. What these people tend to make on T-shirts, everybody, is just not very much compared to what I could just make freelancing a T-shirt. For an hour or two's worth of work, I can make $100, $200, you know, somewhere around there. It's pretty good, but that's because I have like 10 years experience. Bootleg shirts, you could spend 12 hours and make like $25. At that point, I'm better off doing a commission, which is another thing I'll probably talk about right now. Not going to be doing a lot of commissions for a while. Not to say I'm not going to do color pencils or sauces. I will. I just probably won't be doing them as commissions for a while. So long as I got this contract work, I don't see the point. Commissions just take too long for me. They could go quicker, but then I'll just have 100 pieces of shitty art in my portfolio. So no. But it's all right. So I'm gonna experiment with some different things, and then put the results like up in the store and stuff. Nothing in the store for a few months. People have been asking me, where can I buy stuff, man? Your store's always empty. I'm like, yeah, I ran out. What happened was when I came back from the amazing Vegas con, my prints were in my trunk. And I drove from Vegas back to Idaho. And my prints melted. They melted. A few $1,000s worth of prints all melted together. So the only prints I've had to put up in the store have been just whatever I had lying around. And so then I was doing like sketches with print, you know. So if I do anything, I might do like sketches with print again. I don't know. There's a little bit of artwork I have to generate yet still for Game Cave. Physical art for the tiers. And when it gets to that, what I might do is do sketches with print and then take that art and then just color it and, you know, get paid to fulfill those tiers. It's all about business, folks. You know, so it's just time to work that out. What else? Black Panther comes out this weekend. I'm very excited for that. A lot of different reasons. You know, it's one of those characters I have been trying to put on a shirt since 2005, and every time was told no. No. And not from like, you know, corporate white America. You know, the color of the skin's got nothing to do. It was always told to me from like Marvel licensing or from various marketing department, whatever, that it's too political. He's political. You know, and that it just is not going to work. I tried it every time. Looks too much like Batman, we'll get sued. Shit, you're not on that one. You know. So I'm excited. Super excited. I haven't been this excited for to see a movie in 3D since probably Avatar. The 3D trailer for this movie was amazing. Like, the depth was fucking awesome. There were some slight issues with convergence. Convergence is where the focal point's supposed to be in 3D. And if that doesn't work right, you can get nauseous. But looking forward to this a lot. So I'm super excited. When I first started, again, when I was back, first starting Marvel shirts, we sat in his office, and the art director was like, if they can make any movie, because Spider-Man 3 and X-Men 3 was coming out, and they said, if you can make any movie, comic book movie, Marvel, whatever, what would it be? And I said, Iron Man. And they're like, Iron Man doesn't sell, man. And I looked at them. I'm like, I get the comic isn't as popular as it should be. But a man in a mech suit is every fucking kid's dream. Like, and I've watched a gazillion anime. I'm like, you've seen Evangelion and shit? Like, I'm just telling you. Iron Man. And my second pick would have been Spawn, but like an animated Spawn film. CGI animated that looked like Capullo and McFarlane's art. That was a cross between a heavy metal and, sort of Batman Punisher movie, right? Sort of a New York-ish superhero film mixed with heavy metal. Looking like Capullo's art. Animated. So CG, but having that 2D feel. And then my third pick was Black Panther. And they just looked at me like, you fucking, this kid, you know? And I'm like, why? I'm like, I didn't read Black Panther a lot. But for a little bit, I got into the whole Savage side of Marvel universe. Like Kazar. Adam Kubert drew this Kazar comic in the late 90s. That was awesome. That was like, this the lost wilderness in the Antarctic where there's dinosaurs and shit. And then I found out about Black Panther and Wakanda and kind of went back there. And I'm like, oh, there's like a whole mythology to this, like technology and mythology that I just thought wasn't being translated in comic book form to its fullest extent. So it's cool to see, man. I'm trying to think if I ever been 100% wrong? What was I? I know I have. I'm just trying to remember. Have I ever been wrong? No, but I've sat in a room and said, they should do this, and they do it, and it sucks. I thought the Amazing Spider-Man reboot was a great idea. When it was a low-budget film. Initially, the reports about Amazing Spider-Man was with Andrew Garfield was going to be a low-budget, more practical effects. We're going to actually shoot in New York. We're going to swing them around on a crane. And when I heard that, I was like, oh, that'll be amazing. Like, no pun intended, but you really could get like a boots on the ground version of Spider-Man. And having seen Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, I was like, this could be really different and awesome. And that first teaser trailer came out that was like all CGI, and it was like, what's that game, that Ubisoft game where you're like a parkour runner? Mirror's Edge. It's like Mirror's Edge. And I was like, well, I guess they gave up on that tactile, low-budget Spider-Man. So, was definitely wrong about the Matrix sequels. See, the thing is I learned my lesson pretty hard with the prequels and the Matrix sequels. So I'm pretty good at spotting out a shit third of a film or property at this point. Like Ready Player One, no fucking clue. I wasn't actually that big a fan of the book. The book has a lot of like nostalgia and Easter eggs, but not for me. For me, it reads like a guy who read about stuff and remembered it, but didn't actually was a fan of stuff. So, I get it. It's just, plus I don't think VR, the future of VR is not us in our living room standing up like in the Oculus Rift or pretending to walk and shit. The future of VR is like Sword Art Online and The Matrix, where you go into a world in your mind and deep dive, or a form of augmented reality where you're controlling something, remotely. So I don't know. I don't know if it'll be a good movie. I haven't been particularly impressed by any of the trailers. But my friend sent me this poster. He's like, what do you think? I'm like, yeah, it's all right. I'd rather they do that. What else is going on? Working on game stuff right now, and Game Cave a lot. A lot of cool stuff with Game Cave coming down the pike, folks. I'm normally not secretive, but definitely gonna have to be secretive on some of this stuff. So the magazine parts come along fine. A lot of reiteration and streamlining my production this past month as I learn my game development side of my job right now, for however long that lasts. So I'm working with Toys for Bob over at Activision, doing concept art for some projects they're developing, and that's been a lot of fun, a lot of challenges, got to like constantly kind of flip the art style a little bit, which is not the most productive thing in the world for me. But I love the project so much. I don't care about getting the headache. I got a bad one yesterday. I had to flip to like a very different art style. I had to like figure out the shapes, and right when I got the shapes worked, and by the way, I'm not being guided on any of this stuff. When someone let's say someone said, give me some reference or show me, hey, we want like this, and they're expecting like like a Jim Lee style. They don't really tell you that. You have to kind of like, you go, hey, are you looking for this? And sometimes they'll say no, even though they are. So you kind of have to really look at what they're going for, and then engineer the shapes after the fact. And man, I gave myself a massive headache yesterday from that. Had to take a nap in the middle of the day. Can you believe that? I'm getting old. So I'm taking a nap. My dog got so excited. She hears the word nap and she's like, oh my God. So, yeah. But I'm a huge fan of what they're working on. So, everything. They made all the Skylanders game, which I did those covers for IDW, which they didn't even know. But love Skylanders too, so it's cool, man. It's cool. Can't say what they're working on because they haven't announced it, but big fan of that company, so pretty dope. And then Game Cave, so I got the magazine site, which I'm working on. It's not hard to make a magazine. The problem is I'm trying to do something that just hasn't been done before, and I'm very close to streamlining the writing process, which I wrote a version of a review, and I'm like, that isn't it. And I wrote another version of it, that isn't it. And so just nailing one piece down where I'm like, this is it. This is it. And if you have that, then moving forward, you can be like, that's the fucking thing, man. You know, for the magazine part. And then for the narrative part, that's something else entirely. And super excited about what's coming down with that, folks. It's gonna be different. You're not gonna see this coming, but very, very excited. I was so excited. Felt like a little kid. I was so excited about it. I couldn't sleep. Remember how excited you used to get for Christmas? If you didn't have a horrible childhood, right? And I didn't. I had a tough one, but not a horrible one. And if you had a somewhat happy childhood, Christmas would come along or your birthday or something, and you get so excited you couldn't sleep. Like, I got so excited I couldn't sleep for a couple nights, and fucked up my weekend schedule a little bit. My wife was like, "You're a man child." But I'm super excited. Like, for the first time in 4 years. I mean, yeah, for the first time since I've done this, I'm like, this is the way to do it now. And it works. So, the thing is, though, folks, when I get that excited, I don't go around making posts about it online. You got to keep the cards a little closer to your chest. I got to make certain it works. You got to prove it. So right now I'm in the proving department with that, and I will be more visible with it as that becomes possible. So I anticipate within the month, by March, April at the latest, I'll be able to show what I'm doing with that. What's on the panel today to do? What's on the docket? Freelance, design work, Darksiders art, and writing Game Cave. Third pass on this game review, so I've had to adjust just fonts and formats and just it's technical, it's stupid, it's tedious, but so I'm on Rev 3 right now with this review, starting over, and said, okay, let's do it like this now. And I'm fairly certain that's how it'll go. If I don't have this figured out in another week, I gave myself January to work all this stuff out, but I didn't expect the video game and design work freelance set me off a month. If I don't have this all worked out by March 1st, I am just going to run with one of them and just deal with it. So my cutoff for this is March 1st. And that's that. Like, it's a hard date. Hard date. But I'm looking forward to the Darksiders and some action figure style stuff with that. What we at 23 minutes. So that'll be up today. Trying to mix some of these Mega Man shapes with anatomy, like trying to get that Mega Man kind of like shapes with anatomy and armor. So it's there, but not really Mega Man-ish. I don't want to I've seen people do this. They'll take like Mega Man art and then just dump a character into it. So it looks like that. So I'm trying to evolve these shapes forward, as opposed to, say, just redrawing Joe Mad's art and shit like that too. So it's working. It's working. So that'll be up today. And that's that. It is February 13th, 2018. It's a Tuesday. I'll be back on Thursday. Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Also, folks, on the iTunes, I put all of these on the YouTube. You can go there straight by going to SketchCraftLive.com. Will take you right to my live streaming page on YouTube, and you can go to the main channel from there. But there's also links at SketchCraft.com. But I take all the episodes and put them up in the podcast playlist. So if you're on the iTunes and you're like, Rob, there's only like 10 episodes, that's because I am not paying to store that shit. So this one goes up, an old one comes down. The next one goes up, an old one comes down. But the podcasts are in their entirety, all of them, ever, that I've ever done on the YouTube. There's a SketchCraft podcast archive, which was the original podcast I did from 2010 to 2014. And then there's all the newer ones, including the morning podcast and the regular podcast playlist. So go there if you'd like to get more podcasts, if you want to see art tips or the art tips playlist. Everything's on the YouTube channel, folks. It's free. Just check it out. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want to see. And I'll be back in 2 days. Peace, everybody. It's time to get to work.